And it begins with the Nets. With no signs of the situation with Kyrie being resolved anytime soon, Brooklyn got back to 500 at 2-2 with a 14-point win over Washington yesterday. KD had 25, James Harden only 14. Giannis and the Bucks got their third win of the season behind the Finals MVP's game-high 30. Chris Middleton had 27. Milwaukee dominating Indiana last night. The Celtics and the Hornets wind up in overtime. But take a look at the dunk by Jalen Brown, putting the finishing touches on what was ultimately an 11-point win for Boston. He had 30. Jason Tatum, who's heating up, led the way with 41. And don't look now, but the Bulls are 4-0 for the first time since Michael Jordan played for them. DeMar DeRozan had 26. Zach LaVine 22. They beat Toronto by 3. They're the last remaining unbeaten team in the Eastern Conference. And Tim Legler gets up with us early here this morning. And people will point to the fact they haven't played a lot of good teams, or any good teams really yet, we wouldn't think. And they have a bunch of them coming up. But I will ask the question. Are the Bulls a contender in the Eastern Conference?
I don't know if I'd go there yet. Look, I played 10 years in the league in the 90s. I saw 6 parades in Chicago during that time, okay, as an opposing player. I don't think we're there yet. But here's the thing. It does matter who you play. I mean, you can't ignore that. When you play teams that collectively, and there are 4 wins, those teams are 2-9. All right, you can't ignore that, Greeny, but you know what else matters? How you play. And when I look at their roster right now, when you look at the key ingredients you have to have, offensively in particular, you've got a big-time elite wing athlete in Zach LaVine, who's been putting up numbers in this league for a while. You go out, you add now another guy, DeMar DeRozan, you can run the game through. He controls the game with his pace. He gets to the line. He's a great mid-range player. You have to have that in your offense. You have an elite-level talent offensively in Nick Vucevic, so you answer that. You've got a big that can finish around the rim, can step out and shoot the basketball. And then most importantly for me, you now have 2 guys at the point guard position in Lonzo Ball, who's just a ball hopper. He exists for one reason, to make you look better as a teammate. And then they get Alex Caruso, who I just think you cannot overstate what grit and toughness and competitiveness can do for your locker room. You bring him in too. So I just like the makeup of their roster.
And let's go to the West here. We'll see the Warriors play tonight. They're 3-0. I got Stephen A. Smith telling me that's a team he could see going all the way to the finals this year. Could you?
Yeah, they are a contender. Right now, they're a contender. But think about what still could be coming down the pike. Klay Thompson's coming down the pike. Jonathan Wiseman's coming down the pike. Kuminga, their first-round pick, the 7th pick in the draft, who's going to give them athletic ability up front. So they're going to get much deeper, much better. But even right now, just watching them play, Steph Curry reminded us, obviously, a year ago, he's still an MVP caliber player. We needed to see it again. But look at the impact on other guys. You've got role players now on this team, and Jordan Poole's taken a huge step forward. He's a guy that's giving you 18 to 20 a night now, and that's just going to continue all season. Damian Lee's having a great year. This is a team that their style of play empowers everybody on their roster. It's a great reminder in watching them right now what player movement and ball movement and reads and unselfishness can do to empower your entire roster. I can't wait to see what they look like at full strength down the road. There is no question in my mind. This is a team that legitimately could end up in the finals.
Yeah, Klay Thompson expected back right around Christmas time, so we will see. The Warriors.
What an accomplishment.
Oh, well, Chris Paul's got all of it. Chris Paul's going to have every award possible by the time it's over.
Absolutely. And then we have Carmelo Anthony, who passed Moses Malone last night for 9th all-time on the scoring list. Next up for him is Shaquille O'Neal. And then we have Steph Curry with the shot. He recorded his 5,000th assist last night against the Kings. First Warrior player to do so.
I feel like I had to play with more energy, I think, when I got that block.
Harris, and a block from Durant, coming from a weak side.
I think that ignited our team a bit, gave us some energy.
Oh, Steph, is he mad at somebody? Wow.
There's still a lot of room for improvement. You know, we won 3 different games, 3 different ways.
Carmelo looking to become number 9 all time. He's got it!
What does it mean for you to now be 9th on the all-time scoring list? I'm 19 years in, man. Still passionate about the game. I'm still passionate about my craft.
Here's Paul, lobbing in. Ayton oops the alley.
Man, we got real pros on our team. One of my favorite locker rooms I ever been in 17 years.
Ball for Caruso, triple missile, and the Caruso show.
I mean, it was the home opener, so I knew, he's going to come out with a lot of energy.
What do you got, Miles Bridges? Ooh, I'll take you.
Oh, man, celebration.
What Chauncey's done as a player, now as a coach, picks up his first win.
I love that. So that was the best sound from around the NBA this weekend, and the NBA never disappoints. This weekend was no different. From the top milestones to the top plays, we had it all. So, Chiney, I want to start with you. what was your biggest takeaway from this weekend?
Flying under the radar. I really love that we have 3 teams that are 3-0 that were not in the playoffs last year. We've got the Warriors, we've got the Chicago Bulls, and we've got the Charlotte Hornets. Ooh. It's really cool to see guys go off to good starts. Richard, you have something?
I have nothing to say. I was trying to remember, who was I talking about? I was like, who was I going to talk about? Was I going to talk about the Bulls, the Hornets?
We should talk about the Bulls, though, because I love how when you have a balanced roster, we know Zach LaVine is the explosive scorer and the star. You have Lonzo, a distributor. I love Nikola Vucevic. And then you also have a savvy vet in DeMar DeRozan. And to see these teams that sort of took the offseason very seriously, made big moves, start off the year strong, I loved it.
Okay, but if we're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls, can we talk about the 3 teams that are the 3 games that they played? They didn't play against the best competition.
Nancy.
It's not okay. I get it.
I'm just setting the table. Like, don't be like, we're going to go undefeated. It's like, guys, you are beating the team that you're supposed to beat, and that's the good
And their
news.
defenses look great.
And
I think they had 13 steals.
But it gets harder from here. but you're doing what
you're
supposed to.
Can we celebrate the good before we?
We got bad cop over here. I mean, what's wrong?
Okay, let me see and set for you. Let me see and set for you.
Mona?
Friday night, I'm watching the game with my friend up in Stanford. We were having my 20th reunion. Oh my God!
Oh, I in Stanford reunion.
She got 4 kids. Everybody's falling asleep on the couch. Steph Curry gets going.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Yep.
Wake up! Did you see Steph Curry against the Clippers? This 9 and 9 in the first quarter, 25 points in the quarter. Like this guy, it was like wake up off the couch. I don't care how old you are. It's like it might as well be my 5th reunion the way he was playing. Like Steph Curry is on one to start this season, and it's really where he picked up.
Did you wake up off the couch, Richard?
No, I did. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these games get a little bit tough when you got 2
I'm just
kids,
making sure.
But my biggest takeaway is when I look at the Charlotte Hornets and what Bridges has done.
All 3 of my teams.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to talk about LaMelo and what he's doing, and rightfully so. But Bridges has made some very, very big jumps. And now, if we want to talk about, we're talking about early first few games, maybe most improved could be in the cards for him because he has been shooting the 3 well. The athleticism is off the chart. And when you have a point guard like LaMelo, that only heightens your athleticism because he knows how to get you the ball in the right spot. So he was my most impressive player this weekend.
So he sounds like he would be your MVP for this weekend. So Ramona, who would your MVP for the weekend?
That would be LaMelo. Oh my goodness.
We got 2 on the same
48 points,
team.
13 assists, 12 rebounds, 7 steals in those 3 games. Like, I knew he was good, but I didn't know that he was going to be quadruple double. Well, and level. I mean, this guy he is not just good right now in terms of scoring. He's leading his team to wins. And they beat the Brooklyn Nets yesterday.
Right, absolutely. And what was interesting was to hear his teammates talk about him after the game, saying maybe LaMelo last year even, he wouldn't have sat down and let some of his teammates take the lead when they got hot like they did in that game. That's another development in his game. Who is your MVP?
But it's great because we have been talking about these 2 based on the growth that they've had, and mine is Ja Morant.
Yep, there you go.
All the haters. Richard, prove all the haters wrong.
You're always a hater.
He made history, the first Grizzlies player with 40 points and 10 assists in a game, which was awesome. Exploded versus Lakers. Tough to see that missing free throw.
I know.
But what he's been able to do, and I'm sure we're going to dive into that a little bit later, he leads the NBA right now in 35 points per game, right there with Paul George. Talk about most improved. They're going to be some real candidates this year.
Absolutely. And you guys, you mentioned it. Amazing weekend in LA for the Grizzlies and for Ja Morant. Saturday, he dropped 28 points against the Clippers. So let's take a little bit of a deeper look at that game. LeBron and the Lakers, they were looking for their first win of the season, hosting Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. So let's pull up in the 3rd quarter. Memphis is up 1. Morant drives through the defenders. Look at this unbelievable spin layup. Take a closer look.
And doing my boy Baze, man.
That's Anthony Davis right there.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why he went the other direction. He was like, let me go the other side.
AD have 4 blocks in this game.
I love it, Ramona. That's AD right there.
Right. So later in the 3rd, Morant, look at this. Splits the double team. Two-handed jam.
I'm telling you,
there.
It's Westbrook. You see it and you see
So the ensuing Lakers possession, here we go. Carmelo.
Bucket.
Drains that 3. With that bucket, that's where he passed Moses Malone for 9th all-time on the scoring list. So we're still in the 3rd quarter here. The game is tied at 83. Morant spins. Acrobatic. Makes a scoop layup. Gets by Kent Bazemore again. It was a tough night for Baze. He had 27 points in 3 quarters. Memphis up by 3 heading into the 4th. So we have just over a minute left. Lakers are up by 1. Westbrook Misses here. Clean up on Io Mello. This is why the crowd loved Carmelo last night. So the Lakers are up by 3. 5.6 seconds left to play. Here we go. John Morant goes up for 3. Not quite. Kent Bazemore fouled him.
I told you about that since you were a rookie.
3 free throws. We got 1. He makes it. 2. Hits again. So that's a 40th point of the night.
Oh, here we go.
Comes up with a 3rd. Misses it just off the backboard. It was a tough night. The Lakers win 121-118. But it was such a good game. You can see Ja's disappointed in himself there. But here's what Ja tweeted just 11 minutes after the final whistle. Failure builds character, followed by, how are you going to respond, 12?
I love that.
Here was Ja after the game.
I really don't care about, what I've done tonight in this game. I missed the free throw to, tie it. So it's pretty much the only thing on my mind. But I'm pretty sure those guys know at the end of the day that, I'm going to be front line and ready to go to war with them as well.
Obviously, he missed a free throw, but I'm so confident when he steps up to the line there at any point in the game, especially late in the game. He's going to knock down 1 million game winners. He's a highly motivated individual from day one. This is going to continue to push him because it's all about helping his team win. So I know he's going to learn from that, get better, and be ready to go out there and knock those down in the future like he will.
So Morant has been on a tear this season. And when I say tear, this is what I mean. Take a look at the numbers. He had 37 points in the season opener, followed by 28 on Saturday against the Clippers, and a 40-point double-double last night. He's averaging 35 points per game. That is tied with Paul George for the most in the NBA. And I mean, it was an incredible game. So I think we need a breakdown from both teams' perspectives. Do you guys